and I am back with another video. And just like a few of the other videos I've done in the past, I've done videos based around me saying, why do I do shooters, or why do I do Call of Duty, and why do I do fighting games. One thing I have not done, which is, why do I do wrestling reviews? And well, WWE and the whole pro wrestling sports entertainment thing has been ingrained in me pretty much my entire life. It's been something that's always been around. Days of, I'm going to be dating myself with this one, but since the days of like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat, Andre the Giant, those kind of guys. Those are the ones I originally remember. Like, even when you make mention to, like, when I made mention during the live reaction show the other day, I made mention to Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan being the announcers. Those were things that I remember. And this is me as a little kid back then. So I've gone through this entire area of wrestling being PG at one point, like it was in the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, this even as WCW, to go along with it, go along with that as well, they all had more of a PG tone to them than they did during the boom that happened in the late 90s with the NWO and the entire Attitude Era and the Austin 316. And they noticed what changed, which was their audience. And the aspect was that their audience didn't necessarily change. Their original audience got older. And when that audience got older, they catered towards that audience a little bit more and knew that they would prefer a little bit more of an edgier product. And guess what? A bunch more people decided to join in during that time to go along with it. This is what made the Attitude Era and the whole NWO time, be such a great and profitable time for wrestling in general, is because all of a sudden it became the cool thing. When it wasn't necessarily the coolest thing in the world, though a bunch of people still watched, it became the legit cool thing to do. It was something you would do water cooler talk for as well at work. And that's just how things are. So basically, like I said, it's been ingrained into me way back in the late 80s, early 90s, all that time there. Like, I've been a wrestling fan ever since then, and it's something that I know that's probably going to be ingrained with me in some way, shape, or form throughout the rest of my life. In some, like I said, in some way, it's going to be there. So it begs the question, why do I do reviews? Well, you grow up, you kind of start becoming more analytical of things, and you start wanting to give out opinions. And everybody does have their own opinion, and I feel like I have at least a different way of expressing my opinion in the terms of a good, bad, or indifferent way. Like, legit, my personality is I don't really curse all that much to begin with. You don't hear me say those words all that often. And that's just a personality trait. Like, I still feel like I can convey an anger type situation when a Raw is complete crap, or a TNA is complete crap that week, that I can convey that this show was bad in some way, whether I can depict it in terms of an anger or some other way without using those words. And like I said, a lot of people, when they want to convey something like that, they have to curse up a storm and start saying a bunch of different things. I don't feel like I need to do that, and I'm able to get my point across the way that I want to get it across, and people completely understand the point to go along with it. That's not to knock how other people do it, because that's their personality trait. It's how it works. I don't necessarily like it, but they express their opinion their way. I express my opinion my way, and that's just how I am. It's just ingrained in me that way, that you can do certain things without necessarily going a certain direction. You use it to go in your own direction. And trust me, I've been called politically correct all the time. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't try to be politically correct. I don't try to be anything. I'm just being me in that sense. So that's one reason why I do reviews, is that I feel like I can convey my opinion in a different way that I've heard other people do their opinions in the past. And there are some people that also convey these opinions in the exact same way that I do to go along with it. I've listened to podcasts that, they're cool, calm, collected demeanor, and they don't necessarily, like, they express, like, their displeasure towards something, but they don't express it in that crazy or extreme way. And that's just how I am in that sense. Now, also, I have to get into it. Why do I do the reviews that I do? Well, one in particular, with WWE, with Monday Night Raw, I don't care how much people think it's been either crap or been good or whatever they've been thinking over the past few years. If you're going to be reviewing wrestling shows in any way, you need to be talking about Raw, mainly because of audience. It's the most, if you're thinking of anything, like, WWE is the biggest thing out there. So if you want to talk about something and convey your opinion, a lot of people convey their opinion about WWE, but you do have to talk about that in some way, shape, or form. It is complete truth. Now, with WWE NXT, the NXT show, and TNA Impact, I do those review shows because I enjoy them. And like I enjoy to do those shows particularly. Not that I don't enjoy doing the Raw review show, I actually do. I like to, it's gotten me to be able to get in front of a camera and not necessarily be as nervous as I used to be. I used to be completely nervous in front of a camera and in front of a microphone. I'm not so much now, and that's one thing that I got to thank is being able to do those Raw reviews and the TNA Impact review, and now with the NXT review to go along with it. And it is what it is in that sense. But in the particular, it's like, these extra reviews, I could talk about only WWE news and only what happens on Raw and what's the main points, but why not get the other types of wrestling in there? Obviously, I don't get to Lucha Underground or Ring of Honor, at least in terms of reviewing them, for time's sake in there to go along with it, but it is what it is on that case. Like, if I had a little bit more time on my hands, I might be able to get to those shows to go along with it and get those out there for you. But I definitely have always liked the watching the independents, and you have to consider TNA, even though they're quote unquote the second largest company within the United States, you still have to consider them an independent, and I like watching those, especially recently. Like, if I thought Impact Wrestling was just complete utter crap on a weekly basis, I wouldn't review the show. I legit would not review the show to begin with. And it's just how I would feel. It's like, there's no point in this. Like, they did their world title series, and I decided to stop doing the reviews solely because, like, you knew what the review was going to be on a weekly basis. It was like, okay, this match was good, this match was good, this match was good. We know the storyline. And there's no real other storyline to go about it at that point in time. So, for about 4 or 5 months, I stopped doing Impact Wrestling reviews until they came back with Pop TV. And it's like, okay, here we go. Let's start doing, because they've got more potential for storylines. There's more to talk about, and it would be, instead of like analyzing the world title series that they did, I would be able to analyze multiple storylines at one time, and that's a lot of fun to do. Things like that are just a lot of fun, and like I said, that's why I do them. Like, I enjoy doing all 3 of the review shows, just like I enjoy doing the live reaction we did on Sunday night for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. A couple of my buddies came over, and I'll go ahead and say it now. About 20 minutes before the show started, I didn't even think I was going to be doing a live reaction because the buddies that did come over initially were saying, it's like, well, I've been busy with school and everything, I might want to just relax and everything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm assuming they weren't coming over. And then another one of my buddies was able to say, it's like, I need to relax after the entire weekend and everything, so they were going to kind of skip out. So I was prepared, completely prepared to just watch the show and review it like normal. But like at 4:35, you saw them in the show. Justin and Sean had come over, and it was like, we're here for the show. It's like, okay. And it's like, you want to live react to it? It's like, sure, why not? Because not only do we get to have fun to get watching the show together in that sense, and let me tell you this, watching one of these pay-per-views with buddies is a lot more fun than it is by yourself in most cases, unless like the show is just like utterly insanely good to go along with it. But when you have your buddies over, it's even more fun because you're joking around. You're joking around with everything. You're coming up with a couple of fun things to say throughout the entire time. And then when we're doing live reactions, we can interact with the people that are in the chat, and we're having a little bit of fun. Like, we had one guy who was in complete character, like the entire show. He was in complete character with what he was doing, and it was absolutely hilarious. It was a lot of fun to interact with him, and it was just, by all means, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and that's one reason why we do the live reactions, is because it's fun. That's what the point is of doing videos. I'm doing this right now because it's fun to do, and that's what I like. That's just what I like to be. So like everything that I've said in the past is like, I do certain things because I find them fun. I find certain fighting games to be fun, and those are the ones that usually show up on there. Like, I'll give any fighting game a chance, but if I don't find it to be fun within a certain amount of time frame, I don't do anything with it anymore. And we do have a few fighting games that are coming up. One that just came out, which was the secondary variation to Guilty Gear Xrd with Revelator. I've yet to play it. I'm going to give it a shot at some point down the road. And then King of Fighters comes out in August, so I'm going to be giving that a shot to go along with that. So that's getting a little bit off track there for that aspect. But we're more on the aspect of wrestling here. It's always been there. It always will be there. At least we hope it will. Hopefully it doesn't get to a point that it's so bad that, it completely disappears from the landscape of the world. And we'll definitely see how that side of things go. But I just wanted to get this video out there saying, it's like, why do I do these wrestling reviews? What is my history with wrestling to begin with? And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.